I want to share a few tips on how to build grit, on how the willpower, have the self-control to do what is necessary to grow your business. Then this video is for you. Hey guys, Jose Villablanca here, the founder and CEO of HoliFit, which is an employee engagement company. And I want to share a few tips on how to build grit. So if you're a solopreneur and sometimes you don't have the motivation, you don't have the willpower, you don't have the self-control to do what is necessary to grow your business, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you proven ways that has helped me and some other small business owners that I know of that has seen some success because of the tips I'm going to share with you in this video. So let's get started. So ngayon, I'm checking out this notes na sinulat ko dito sa iPad ko, malamang. And most of it is actually coming from this book called Grit by Angela Duckworth. So, if you haven't read this yet, I highly suggest basahin nyo ito kasi marami kayong matutunan dito. But I'm gonna share yung mga tips ko that I think you can learn from. So the first is sa chapter 2, may sinulat siya dito. Our potential is one thing, what we do with it is another. So, it clicked with me. Parang naisip ko, nga naman, parang ang dami nagsasabi or baka na, sa utak ko lang yun or people tell me, um, whatever it is, reality or made up or maybe the belief in myself. So naisip ko, sayang naman yung potential ko. Alright? Dami nagsasabi or lagi ko naisip, pero wala akong ginagawa dito. So yung tanong ko sa'yo is, alam mo ba yung potential mo and sinasagad mo ba? So, yun, parang nag-click ka agad sa akin. And then, yung second thing is on chapter 2. Ito yung sinabi niya. They can articulate a dream, for example, to be a doctor, but they can't point to the mid-level or low-level goals that will get them there. This is what Gabrielle Oettingen, I hope I said that right, calls positive fantasizing. Indulging in visions of a positive future without figuring out how to get there discounts what obstacles that could be in the way. Short-term payoffs but long-term costs. So, ano yung ibig sabihin nito? Basahin ko ulit. Ayun, so kaya mo sabihin yung dreams mo, pero, right, gusto maging doctor, right? Or gusto maging successful na negosyante, right? Pero hindi mo ma-pinpoint yung mid-level or yung low-level goals kung paano dumating sa high-level goals. Right? So, ang big sabihin nun ay positive fantasizing. So, nagpa-fantasize ka lang. Right? You're just indulging in visions, so parang nire-relish mo lang or, pinag-iisipan mo, ini-enjoy mo, yun, indulge siguro yun. Oh, tama yung translation ko. Pero wala kang ginagawa. Alright? Hindi mo naiisip yung mga kailangan mong gawin step by step. Step by the step
Step by the step.
para maging success.
Bigla kang sumakses eh.
All right, the next is so saying continue on to that. Don't just think of the positive and getting there, but the negatives, obstacles, and hardships in the way. Okay? So huwag mo lang isipin na ang saya pag nakarating na ako doon. Pag-isipan mo rin na mahirap ito, pero importante ito. And dahil mahirap at importante ito, konti lang yung makakagawa nito. At dahil dun, gagawin ko ito. Right? So that's what I always tell myself. Pag mahirap or sobrang meticuloso, pag, kailangan mong gawin ito. How do I say it? Sorry, I'm trying to speak more Tagalog so I can be more relatable. When I try to think of what I can do or how hard this will actually be, naalala ko, usually, niremind ko yung sarili ko na hindi lahat ng tao kakayanin nila to. So, ibig sabihin nun, hindi nila gagawin. And that actually motivates me to keep pushing. All right, the next thing we have here is, yun, sinabi ni Warren Buffett. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like one of the richest men in the world. And this only happened, like he made billions nung mga 65 years old na siya because of compound interest. But anyway, ibang usapan na yun. But ito yung sinabi niya, I think he talked to, yun, his pilot, parang sabi ng pilot niya, I want to be as successful as you. Paano mo nagawa to? Malamang may private jet siya kasi may piloto siya, di ba? And sabi niya sa pilot, write down 25 of your career goals you'd like to achieve. Right? Do some soul searching and circle only 5 of the 25 goals you wrote down? Sorry, sinulat, ito ba yata yung story ah. So, ito yung naalala ko. Sinabi niya, okay, write down your 25 goals. And next time tayo magkita, pakita mo sa akin. Ayun, a few days later, pinakita niya. Tapos sabi niya, okay, ano yung top 5 mo dito? Sa lahat na yun. Tapos yun, binigay ng pilot. Tapos sabi na, ni Warren Buffett, okay, kalimutan mo na yung 20 other gusto mong gawin. So yung point dun is really, it's not the ideas na pwede mong gawin. There's so many ideas out there. Execution is another story. So paano mo execute yung 25 things na gusto mong gawin? Start with the first five, right? Ako pa nga, paminsan first three lang para hindi ako ma-overwhelm. You know, big three of the day. Ano ang kailangan kong gawin? Ayun. And then because you focus, right? Laser-like focus, right? Mas magagawa mo siya. You can tick it off the box and then next thing, all right? Instead of sobrang dami mong ginagawa, palipat-lipat. That's like task switching, all right? Instead of having, one focus goal. If you're distracted, when distract ka, this actually eats away time and energy. In fact, sabi nila, read it somewhere na, yun nga, when you're distracted or when you think you're multitasking, hindi daw totoo yun. You're task switching. So nagsiswitch ka from one task to another and then another. And dahil dun, kailangan mo mag-warm up, parang, warm up ulit, moving on to the next task, kalimutan yung previous task. And yun, nakaka-drain yun. And yun nga, you have to build momentum for the next new task. So it's highly suggested that you finish one task and then move to the next and then the next and then the next. Ayun, we're moving on to the next here. So this thing is called stretch goals. All right. You aren't improving because you aren't doing deliberate practice. This is how experts practice stretch goals. Having competition around you only makes you stronger, faster, better. Join a great team so you can only do better. In fact, competition in Latin quite literally means to strive together. It doesn't say anything about someone losing or winning. So, ganito ang nakuha ko sa tip na ito sa chapter 8. Basically, syempre, seryoso yung practice mo. Deliberate nga, di ba? Um, Sinasadya mo, ibig sabihin nun. And when you have stretch goals, you're pushing farther, you're stretching it out, and you try to make sure na may kasama kang mga competition na sana mas magaling sa'yo. And it's not to make you lose for the sake of losing, but, syempre, kailangan rin tayo matalo paminsan-minsan. But because of those failures, it makes you a better athlete. So think of golf or basketball, since tayo mga Pinoy, mahilig tayo sa basketball. Alright, ayaw mo yung mga competition or mga liga, yung mga madali lang na competition, right? Gusto mo yung liga na, syempre mahirap, syempre may challenge, right? And pag ganun yung mga competition mo, gagaling ka, right? So it's the same thing when it comes to business. Pag-isipan mo na lang pag nahihirapan ka sa negosyo, syempre you're not gonna be perfect or ayaw mo naman ng monopoly, right? Like kunwari, isa lang yung telecom provider sa Pinas. Hindi mahal nun, isa lang yung internet provider sa Pinas. Mahal nun, isa lang yung nagpro-provide ng tubig. Mahal, right? So syempre, ganun din pag nanginegosyo ka or if you're in sales, ayaw mo rin na ikaw lang yung nandun kasi you become a monopoly and garapal mo naman, di ba? But not only that, it doesn't sharpen your skills. So think of it that way. Okay lang. Ganun naman talaga ang buhay. Sino ba nagsabi na dapat madali magnegosyo or maging salesperson or sa trabaho mo and marketing, whatever else you may be doing. Okay? So think of competition. We strive together. It has nothing to do winning or losing. It's all about being a better person or professional. All right, next up we have ito. The flow state is intrinsically pleasurable. You're not analyzing what you're doing, you're just doing it. You're floating, you lose track of time. Deliberate practice is for preparation, and flow is for performance. So I don't know if you've ever had that feeling na, yun nga, you're in the flow, you're in the zone. Alam naman siguro natin sa basketball, umiinit siya in the zone. Galing niya. Mainit siya. Ganon. Ganon din sa trabaho or when we're reading a nice book that we're enjoying or whatever it may be sa work. Daming cold calls. ang daming meetings, tuloy-tuloy lang, you're in that flow state. All right? So, paano dumating sa flow state na yan? Para dumating sa flow state, ideally, you should have the same parang habit. All right? So, just like working out, if you work out first thing in the morning or, after work, it's like routine. You get in the zone mentally, physically. Ganun din sa flow state. When you're trying to do sales call, try to do it same time of the day or after coffee or after your break para you get into this zone, right? In fact, sabi nga nila yung mga data analysts or yung mga sports statistics, right? Sabi nila, not every player will play bad, right? Kung magaling ka and you've been playing really bad, eventually, one of these days, the next game you're going to be playing, gagaling ka. Kasi it's just rules of average. Okay? So ganun din sa flow. You just have to keep finding your flow, having this routine para gagaling ka lang and gagaling because ayun, may routine ka na, habit na siya. So the only thing you need is the flow state. All right, make it a habit. Figure out where and when you feel comfortable doing deliberate practice. Do deliberate practice then and there every day. Why? Good question. Because routines are a godsend when doing something hard. A mountain of research studies shows that when you have a habit of practicing the same time and in the same place every day, you hardly have to think about getting started. You just go. All right, next up. So yun, for me, when I try to meditate or journal, I try to stay in my home office or a certain corner. I used to meditate in my bedroom or by actually in bed before I get up, brush my teeth, do my stuff first thing in the morning. But I felt like I needed a special zone that would just click para alam ko na ang gagawin ko. So dapat sana you have that luxury to do those things. Okay?